Hello everyone, I've got some very exciting news. For the first time in the Louvre's 11-year history, we have a proper host now. And it's working amazingly. I have view distance on 32 at the moment. And I don't know if this will be a permanent thing, but it works for now. It's still not enough to see the entire build, but it's nice to be able to look across the courtyard from one side to the other and see everything still loaded in. This poor thing runs on Cauldron, which is an amalgamation of Forge and Bucket that never made it past 1.7. But it holds our multiverse together, so it's quite an essential part of the server framework. And there were a few websites I found that supported that, but there was only one that listed our specific version of Cauldron. So I found that one and I'd never heard of it. It's called MTX Serve. So I looked up some reviews. And one of the most prevalent negative reviews I saw is that they're a French company and some of the interfaces have not been translated and they're still in French. And I think that made me laugh out loud, actually. I'm just flying around while I'm doing this just to test the chunk loading, or demonstrate the chunk loading at least. And it goes quite fast. I know these are basically empty chunks, but all is fine. A terrible part about this is that you can see how unfinished it is, because more stuff's loading in. You can't just load in something nearby that's almost done and pretend that's it. So I bought this thing, and one of the things they offered was an FTP connection to get into your storage on their system and upload your own files. And I was thinking, I've never even heard of this before. I have no idea how it works, so good. And I ended up downloading this weird program. And the interface on this looks like it's straight from 2006. But apart from that, it worked. And it took over 24 hours to sync all the server files. Actually, while I'm recording, let's go and see how the old Louvre looks. Let's see how far we can push this thing with loading. Because I know this one is way laggier. And not only did I have to deal with the server, I had to update the client for the first time in 3 years. That's good though, because I got to put all the new textures and settings and stuff like that in there. And that wasn't without difficulties either, but it was fine. I think one of the worst parts about the whole process of setting up the new client packs and the server is that I don't remember how to do it. Because it's been a really long time since I had to. This actually looks not so bad. I know the very front of the walls is horrible and that kind of thing, but when all the roofs and stuff are on the new one, it's going to look amazing. Is it me, or is one of the most exciting things about Minecraft builds and buildings in general is looking inside windows and seeing things in there and wondering what it is? Don't think I've been down here yet since I got the new server. Also, please ignore the red X's on the floor. I think I've mentioned them before, but they need to be replaced. Oh yeah, let's explore the area that's pitch black. This is going to look great. There was a small hitch, however, with the hosting process. And that's because I let it expire and the backup did not work, which I'm presuming is because the server is just so big. And this is great as well. One of the things I love about a long view distance from underground space is that you can look down corridors and for the most part, you can't just see into the void, which ends up looking a lot lighter than the rest of it. This is so beautiful that you can look in all directions and just see the natural end of what your view would be. I love this. Is this shop still here? So after upgrading my contracts, there was something like 4 days left, which was enough to do further testing and get a few other people on the server. Which I did a nice little recording of the stupidity we got up to while we were on there. The file size is too big for me to process at the moment, but I'm going to sort that hopefully. Also, it will never happen again. I've learned how to split recordings in OBS now. We live and learn. Oh, this is blue. I love how the server thinks it's fixing it when I walk over it, but in reality it's only making the blue worse. So I accidentally let the contract expire after all our fun and games. I bought a new one, tried to restore it from backup, and it turns out the backups didn't have anything in them. Nothing big enough that would constitute the entire server, at least. So I had to do the whole 24-hour process of uploading everything again. So now I'm like a day out from the whole restoration process, and we're back. And I won't be so lonely on here anymore, because now anyone can join. Also, anyone can ask for a tour. I probably won't be doing them all the time. I'll give strangers free range on here, but if you want to look around, just join the Discord and let me know. It is a fairly simple process most of the time. I need to redo this texture, but I do really like this room. It does look very old indeed. It's also fun that I can zoom around at high speed now and the chunks don't load and unload in front of me. Everything is always very solid in the radius around where I'm standing. Oh god, this area looks rough. I'm just in awe of how the new Louvre is going to look so much better than this. Because first of all, it's slightly smaller, so more things will be in loading distance, and secondly, it's just better overall. I think the server might be finally overloaded, but you can still see all of these down here, which I think is interesting. I wish there was an X-ray view for armourers only, which is basically what that was. We are approaching some of the largest chunks on the server, and that's because this club and this home are actually decorated. To be fair, this is the same size in this Louvre as it is in the new one, because this was built many, many years later than all of that over there. So we were kind of doing the thing of scaling up and making things not looking so flat. You know, this change in style has been an evolution. It didn't happen overnight. And this was kind of the first steps towards it. Also, what's up with these windows though? They look really weird. I don't like that. Hello, monsters. Are you enjoying the hole in the road? Actually, why is there a 2-chunk hole in the road? This is not normal. It's not even all the way through either. Well, I don't know what happened there, but it's none of my business. Oh. This is more than a 2-chunk hole in the road. Maybe this is the literal definition of a tourist trap. Everyone drives in expecting to visit the Louvre and they just end up in this pit. It's so bizarre seeing everything in the distance like that. This area looks so good though. Whoever chose this colour palette, good job. Oh, this is really cute actually. I'm quite excited to work on the gardens again. It's a nice change of pace from just working with limestone over and over. And this is about as far as we got. As beautiful as this all is, let's return to the task at hand. Oh, the poor server. I wonder if I upgrade even more whether it will fix this. Probably not. I think it's just a limitation of existence that causes this lag. I'm sure if I wasn't just flying through the air at double the normal flight speed, things would be loading at a reasonable pace. No. As confused as I was for a minute there. For context, this is where the pavilion I was just looking at goes on the previous one. Right here, where this chicken is. Go away. It loads in the chunks a lot quicker if you fly into them, which I think is because it prioritises those ones instead of just loading everything around in a radius. Wonderful. I am very pleased. And this wasn't entirely my choice. We had a new Pangaea member who basically joined the group by force and sheer will and wanted to visit the server. I was thinking, oh god, this is probably going to be impossible and then they're probably going to hate me and leave. But that is not what happened. It gave me some much needed motivation to make the server accessible to everyone, no matter how scary and how much hard work it was. So thank you to them, and thank you to MTX Sir for hosting this thing. Not sponsored, I'm just relieved